Hello and welcome back to Jack's FSX videos. Today we're doing a full flight from Amsterdam to London, which is the default FSX mission, which is what one of my viewers requested. Okay, so then, first thing I should probably mention, this guy's just talking in the background right now. First thing I should probably mention is that this voiceover is not as I'm doing it. It is a voiceover, sorry. It's not as it's not live voiceover. It's done afterwards, basically, because once again, after a live stream, I forget to swap over my microphone, because I have to use a certain microphone for my live streams, and then I always forget to swap it back over. So then I end up recording a video, and then the voiceover doesn't record because my editing software, my OBS stuff doesn't like my other microphone that I usually use for recording, but this is a better quality one that I use for recording, so there you go. So sorry if things don't line up. Okay, she's already forgot about that happening, but there you go. There's a little truck coming over. Yeah, so sorry if things going to sound quite in sync or whatever, you know, as I say, I'm trying to remember what happens, but obviously I didn't remember that happening. Because I actually recorded this a few hours ago, and then when I started editing it, I realised, oh, there's no voiceover, so here we go. So yeah, we're just getting a pushback. This was a video request from one of you guys to do this mission. So like things like that popping up, I can't even remember what I said, but there you go. So things like that will happen, so sorry about that. I'll try and remember to swap over the microphone in the future. So we're setting our flaps up to 5 here. We've got our altitude already preset up, apparently. And basically we're going to head over to runway 24 for takeoff, which is a big green arrow in the sky, which I don't notice, so I'm a little bit hesitant when I first start off here, because I don't know why I was trying to think like where the runway would be. I couldn't see it, but it was there. So yeah, everything's already set up, and I actually couldn't remember that this was a medical emergency flight. When I was originally doing this commentary, right now, I was saying that when I was originally doing this voiceover, I was saying that, you know, this flight is literally you just take off, but you don't actually get to London. You just halfway through the flight or whatever, it then says mission success. And that is literally how I remember. I swear to God, I don't know if they've changed it or something in the Scheme Edition, but I swear to God, that is how I remember this mission. You take off from Amsterdam, you know, you do a turn or whatever, you climb, I don't know, over 12,000 feet, and then it just says mission success, and I swear to God that's how I remember it, but apparently not. Apparently there is a medical emergency in this flight, so you guys will be seeing that. Obviously I already know what's going to happen now though, which makes this commentary a little bit different. Yeah, so we're heading over to the right here, runway 24, and I'll also mention at this point that if there's anything that you notice in this mission that I don't do correctly, or that I don't do you know, properly or in the right order or whatever, it's because I like to follow these missions exactly as they're meant to be done in this game. Like, I like to do them exactly how like this, I don't know what to call him, you know, the guy that tells you what to do everything, the narrator guy, who is your co-pilot in quotation marks. He tells you what to do and everything. So there's a car here. I remember having to stop here as well. Yeah, you see this car coming up here. I didn't know where he was going to go, but yeah, there you go. He's going to go left. His left, my right. Just barely skipping by. See, if I didn't stop there, he would have gone right into me like that first one did. So yeah, I like to follow the missions, these sort of missions, exactly how they're meant to be done, as if you were playing it for the first time, and you know, as if you were new to FSX. So there are some things that I do, you know, on top of what he tells me to do, but only, you know, the basic sort of stuff. Like, he never tells you to use the autopilot. I just do it myself, because, you know, if you see me do visual flights and stuff, you'll know that I don't exactly keep the aircraft straight, but yeah, that's what you see basically. And this bit was quite annoying here, like how unrealistic this was. Look at this. I stop here at this first line, because obviously this is where you hold short to take off, and then you request clearance after you've stopped. But I was stopping the aircraft here, and it just wasn't detecting it, so I had to go right over the line here, which was, like I said, very annoying. But trust me, what happens at the end is even worse. I have to completely go off the taxiway just to complete this mission. It's ridiculous sometimes. So yeah, as you can see, it's not working. So I have to go over the line, and then it tells me. But I'll try and play off with what this narrator co-pilot is saying. Here we go. Let's listen to him.
Full tower, world travel 293, holding short runway 24, ready to go.
World travel 293, wind 230 at 15, runway 24, cleared for takeoff, fly runway heading.
And cleared for takeoff, world travel 293. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Engine start switches, set to continuous.
Alright, so we're just doing the checklist here.
Flaps,
and
set
making
to
sure
5.
everything's good. Flaps are
And
at
before
5,
takeoff
yep.
checklist complete.
Boom, the
All right,
long
turn on the
checklist,
landing lights,
2
adjust
items.
ropes, and let's go. After takeoff, fly runway heading and climb to 6,000 feet.
6,000. So it's set on the autopilot there for 12,000. I don't know why I didn't change that before. Oh, no, now I'm changing it. Change it to 6,000 and the vertical speed, I assume. What's it called? The speed is alright. Heading is alright as well. We're getting to change that. I will switch over to VOR once I take off though as well. And obviously do all the other stuff, flight director switch on there as well. I'm trying to turn the aircraft here as well as doing all of that. But yeah, there's the flight plan that you can just see there, the magenta line. So here we go, basically. Again, I was unsure whether I was actually meant to take off, because now that I hear it back, it sounds so obvious, because when I was actually doing the commentary as well as trying to listen to that guy, I missed a lot of stuff that you'll see that I missed a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to the landing. I missed a very vital thing, which made me not able to do the mission as it's meant to be done. But yeah, so you might see me miss out a few things when I was talking and trying to listen to the guy. I missed out a few things he was saying. Yeah, so like I said, you'll definitely see that on the landing. But here we go, we're taking off on 140 knots there, and we're rotating. Already ahead of you, mate. Already ahead of you there, just slightly. And we're airborne. Positive rate. Gear up. Boom.
Positive rate, gear up.
Already ahead of you again there, mate. By a few seconds. Yeah, so the weather's pretty bad. But which is what worried me when I came in to land again, because again, you'll see what happens. I won't tell you yet, but you'll see what happened. So flaps up, I think he just said there. Again, I don't know what he said.
Accelerate to 250 knots.
250 knots, yeah, so we're turning on our IAS, as well as our autopilot. Not our heading yet, or VOR, because we're waiting for those instructions. But we're flying runway heading right now. But as you can see, the weather's so bad, you cannot see a single thing.
Landing gear up.
Landing gear is up.
Flaps up.
Flaps are up.
Engine start switches set to off.
Off. Beautiful. Right, so we are airborne. We are fully airborne.
Checklist complete.
And this mission is meant to take about 40 minutes. I think this is about 30 minutes looking at my editing timeline right now. I think it's about 30 minutes this flight. I managed to do it in. So there we go, we've been giving our heading now, which I've gone a little bit too far down. I don't know why we're called World Travel 293 when we're in Orbit Airlines. Now we're climbing to 12,000, which is also good. So at this point, I had no idea that this was going to be a medical emergency. Like I said, I was completely under the impression that this was just going to be a straight takeoff, and then when we're about halfway there or whatever, see, obviously I'm explaining the flight plan now, but I won't bother talking about that now. But yeah, there it is. So yeah, what was I saying? I forgot, but yeah, there you go. Basically, I'm explaining something to do with the flight plan. I can't remember what I said. But that's it, yeah. So yeah, I remember what I was saying now. I was under the impression that I was just going to take off, then, you know, a third of the way, halfway there, it would just say mission success. Oh yeah, and I was very confused by this here. How the rain just suddenly stopped. I don't know whether we went over the clouds or whatever. But there you go, you can see the ground now. But we're well in the air now, well in the air for flight.
Just wanted to let you know that one
This
of
is
our
it.
passengers isn't feeling well. There's a doctor on board, so he's being treated. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
Medical emergency, that's the first little sign there, someone's not feeling well. I'm pretty sure a heart attack, like, I feel there was no really sort of like symptoms to a heart attack, you know, like anything to indicate that it was coming, so I found that a little bit weird. I might be wrong there, I might be completely wrong. But yeah, that was my impression of a heart attack, that, you know, there's not really any warning, you know. if anything. Yeah, a few seconds. So, oh yeah, I also did want to say that I'm sorry that I didn't release a video the last couple of weeks. Basically, the week before last, I was just getting ready for the live stream because the month before last live stream went terrible, so I was just trying to make sure it was all working. And then the live stream was last week, and then last week's video didn't come out because I got called into work because there was a lot of snow basically where I am. If you didn't see that on the news, like if you aren't from the UK or whatever, there was like this massive sort of, I don't know what to call it, like this jet stream that switched around. Well, the jet stream switched around or something. I don't know. I don't know all the sciencey parts of things. But yeah, the jet stream basically switched around and it caused all this cold air from Siberia to come over to us and bring a lot of snow and blizzards. So yeah, that's basically the situation there. So I got called into work because the manager and the other member of staff couldn't come in. So if I didn't come in, the shop would have had to close, unfortunately. That's my first job. I've got 2 jobs.
Well, we're cleared up to 22,000.
Don't know what I'm doing over the landing lights, but we've been cleared to 22,000. I think he just said there, which I'm going to do in a sec.
The doctor says the sick passenger
here
is
we go.
having a heart attack.
Oh, heart attack.
Well, so I assume he thinks we need to get him to a hospital.
Yes, well done,
Yes,
done,
he says
co-pilot.
he needs to get to hospital immediately.
Okay, thanks. We'll let you know what we decide to do. Well, looks like we should divert to the closest airport with a hospital. Rotterdam is just behind us, and we'll be able to get in and out of there quickly. I'll call dispatch. World Travel Dispatch, World Travel 293.
World Travel 293 dispatch. Go ahead.
We're just off Amsterdam for London. One of our passengers is having a heart attack, and a doctor on board says he needs immediate medical attention. We're planning on diverting to Rotterdam.
World Travel 293, stand by.
Standing by. We will stand by.
World Travel 293, roger. We'll call ahead and have paramedics
Roger.
meet you at the gate.
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you. We'll divert to Rotterdam. We'll
Let's
advise
go.
on the ground. World Travel 293. So let's divert to Rotterdam. Identifier Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. Hopefully we can get in there quickly. I'll notify ATC.
I think that was part of the bit that I missed.
Passenger with a medical emergency. Request diversion to Rotterdam.
World Travel 293, roger. Descend and maintain 2,000.
Down to 2,000. World Travel 293. Okay, descend to 2,000 feet.
2,000. Yeah, and this is also a bit that I thought was a bit weird. Descending so low so quick.
7.02.
World Travel 293, switching. Thanks for the help. Rotterdam approach, World Travel 293, descending to 2,000, diversion to Rotterdam for a medical emergency.
World Travel 293, roger. Rotterdam altimeter 29.1. Proceed direct to the Rotterdam Romeo Oscar Tango NDB. Expect vectors for the ILS runway 24 approach.
Direct to Rotterdam Romeo Oscar Tango NDB, World Travel 293. Okay, let's turn around and fly to the Rotterdam NDB, identifier ROT, frequency 350.5. From there we'll get vectors for the ILS. I'll notify the flight attendants.
Forward cabin,
That is
go
definitely a
ahead.
bit I missed.
We're diverting to Rotterdam, so please prepare the cabin.
Okay, good to hear. I'll tell the doctor and we'll get the cabin ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer speaking. We have a passenger with a medical emergency on board, so we're diverting to Rotterdam. We should be on the ground in just a few minutes. Once the passenger is off board, we'll continue on to London as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. Flight attendants, prepare for landing.
Yeah, so I definitely missed that bit because basically what happened is that I was talking over a lot of that stuff, so I didn't hear it. This is the bit where I was turning around because I missed what intersections and waypoints to hit, but I was just sort of turning around here. And I missed the bit where he said that we're going to be doing an ILS approach, so I didn't have anything ready to note down the ILS frequency and the course, which was quite an important part. So yeah, when he then suddenly just blurted out this ILS frequency and course, he only ever said it once. There was no repetition or anything. Or what's he saying?
0 knots. Turn on the landing lights and the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay, there's just some stuff there. Fasten seatbelt sign's already on because I swear to God he told me earlier not to turn it off because of the turbulence. Anyway, yeah. So he just blurted this ILS frequency and course out. I had no idea to write it down, and then all of a sudden, you know, that's it, it's gone. So I couldn't do an ILS landing, basically. Here we go.
Altimeter set to 29.21. Speed
Yeah.
set. At our current weight, we'll want to fly the approach at 145 knots.
145. And what else? Is that
Approach
it?
brief.
Okay.
The
Oh,
frequency
yeah.
for the runway 24 ILS is 108.3, and the course setting is 239er.
There you
Get
go.
yourself set up for the approach. Approach checklist complete.
Right, so that was the bit I missed right there, where he just sort of blurted out the ILS frequency and course. So I had no idea what to do, so I just quickly set up a flight plan here, and then set up a vectors approach for ILS 24, and then I got it set up, so I knew that I was obviously going to have to go around to the other side of the airport. I guessed it anyway, because that's the direction we took off in. Obviously this is a different airport though, but it's the same direction runway. So yeah. ILS had to be abandoned, and we had to go in for a visual approach, basically, because I had no idea what the frequencies were for an ILS landing. So I was kind of worried at this point in this weather, because I thought, well, what are we going to do? The visibility is terrible. Because if you've seen the what's it called, the blind fog landing videos I did like a month or two ago on this channel, you will see how hard it is to do a manual landing, a visual landing in this approach, in this weather. Sorry. So yeah, I was thinking, what we're going to do. So I was making a slight turn to the right here, so we can swing the aircraft around over less steep angle, less steep bank. But yeah, bit of a trek back basically. I'm glad we didn't have to then take off though after that, because that would have been a very long full flight, very long mission even. So yeah, we're just basically heading over, seeing what we're going to do, and I can just about see the ground, which is one good thing. It's always good to see the ground when you're landing an aircraft. But we're at a heading of 075 right now. We're still descending to 2000. Yeah, and I did think that was a bit too weird, because you'll see in a sec. Oh, and I'm also just putting up my vertical speed there, so that we raise the nose of the aircraft. Because I was thinking that we descended down to 2000 way too early. Like, I could have done it way later than that. Because you'll see in a sec just that when they tell us to even reduce our speed to 180, maintain 2000, that the nose of the aircraft's just stuck up in the air. Like, I could have just done it way later so that the aircraft just stays flat, which is how you should come in for an approach in real life. So,
flaps 5.
yeah, I was a bit annoyed. But there's the ROT you just saw there on the GPS. Now setting flaps to 5, which our speed is too high for that, so I brought that straight back. Because, like I said, I want to try and follow what the mission says, but not when it's going to give me a big beeping noise. But I didn't want to, again, reduce my speed any lower, because we're just maintaining a flat aircraft at this point, a level aircraft.
World travel 293.
Here we go.
Fly heading 050 to Rotterdam, Romeo, NDB.
050.
180 knots.
050 to the NDB and slowing to 180. World travel 293.
See, there you go. That's the bit that got me worried.
050 degrees, which will take us to the
Speeding out 180, and now you can see the nose of the aircraft slowly rising there on the primary flight display, and I was just like, why? Why have you asked me to do that? So that's where we're going over there, the Romeo. What's it called? What's the name? I literally just said it a couple minutes ago. Yeah, we're going to the Romeo thing there. I'll just call it a thing. Literally, what is the name? I literally just said it 2 or 3 minutes ago. Anyway, yeah, so we're going there. We're going to make the turnaround. I'm going to do, like I said, a partly visual, partly instrument landing here, because I'm going to use the GPS VOR just to guide us in, using the vectors. I'm going to use that to guide us in, and I'm basically going to have to, there you go, me just showing you the turn. I'm basically going to have to do the altitude myself, which is probably the hardest part, to be honest. Altitude is definitely the hardest part of a blind approach, you know, because you just don't know when you're going to hit the ground, to be honest. But in terms of direction, you know, what heading to go at on a landing, that's pretty easy for blind landing, because you can just use your GPS and line yourself up. That's it. Simple. But altitude, you've got to judge, you know, first you've got to know how high the ground is. Luckily I knew the Netherlands is pretty flat, so it wouldn't be that high off ground level, but You know, because you can get some airports in the world that are over 1,000 feet high. So I didn't want anything like that, because that would have been a surprise when I hit 1,000 feet, which I'm at right now, aren't I? No, I'm not. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh no, I am looking at the right thing. I can just barely see it. It says 1900, I think, or 19. Just yeah, almost basically. It's close to. It's meant to be 2,000 basically. It's just I can barely read it from here. But yeah, look at that. I mean, look at that. My nose is just sticking up in the air. I'm flaring like miles before landing. So I was quite annoyed that the game asked me to do that. But like I said, I'm following what the mission says, for the most part at least. So here we are, almost at that turning point. But you'll see that the landing actually was very good, despite the conditions, you know, and that was mainly because the rain disappeared, which you'll see in a minute.
Maintain 2000 until established on the localizer.
Maintain 2000 to establish on the localizer. Well, we're not going to be established on the localizer, mate.
8.2 at the marker.
Clear for the approach, tower at the marker, world
Clear
travel
for the
293.
approach.
Okay, turn left to 270 degrees and intercept the
270.
ILS. Maintain 2,000 feet until we're established on the localizer.
So here we go, we're making our turn now. Turning in for the airport. Also, just while I'm making this turn, I'll mention that, again, there are big changes coming to this channel. So do make sure you stay subscribed, or if you haven't already subscribed, to subscribe now, basically, because really big changes happening, which is why you might sort of get shorter and shorter videos over these next few months as I prepare for these changes, because there's big stuff, like I said. I was just pointing out there that I don't like how that sun shows there on the horizon. It's a bit bad. But yeah, big changes coming to the channel this year over the next few months, so do look out for that. I'll give you more information as the time comes closer and closer. But yeah, I don't want to give you any sort of dates just yet, because I don't want to get you guys too excited for anything, you know, when it's still quite a few months off. That's all I'm telling you at this point, a few months away. That could mean anything though. That could mean 2 months, that could mean November, you know. So like I said, I don't want to tell you too much right now. But yeah, there's a lot to do. I mean, seriously, there is a lot to do for these changes, which is why, like I said, you might get some short videos, you might get the odd video missed out. Plus, I've got my exams coming up this year, so I'm actually going to be doing videos every fortnight instead of every week for about a month or two before my exams. But trust me, it'll be worth it. Oh, there's the rain disappeared. That's when I got very happy that the rain disappeared and I could actually see the runway. But it does reappear, unfortunately, so that's just FSX for you. But we are lining up now with the vectors using VLR. There you go, you can just about see the runway there. Quick spin of the aircraft. So yeah, we are lining up. We're going to begin our descent now, I think. Speed's a little too high, but that's the wind causing that to fluctuate so much. Here we go, we're going to start to begin our descent, I believe, but not too fast, of course, which is why I changed my vertical speed there. So we're starting off with a descent of 1,500. Nice sound there. Can't even remember what that was now, but I fixed it somehow. Speed coming down a little bit. I'm going to bring out the flaps as well, and the gear needs to come out. But yeah, look at that speed. It's much higher than it should be. So there we go, pretty much in line now. So the gear will come out just any second now. And then we'll bring out some more degrees of flaps. Further decreasing the speed, further decreasing the altitude. Trying to do this visual approach without crashing the aircraft into the ground. There's a nice sound again. So look at that, 183, and it was set for 165. Like, it's way over. Cannot get that down. Right, so there's the gear coming down now. And more flaps are coming out as well. Flap degrees 10. I think the guy's about to start speaking again in a second. More altitude decrease to 600, I think then that's when we start to see the runway, and that's when I take over manually, I believe.
Sink rate.
Of course, there's sink rate.
Gear down, set full flaps, slow to 145
There we go, full
knots.
flaps, slow down to 145. There's the
Rotterdam
runway, you
Tower,
can just
we'll
about see it
travel
now, the
293
lights.
on the ILS 424.
World
It still
travel
thinks we're doing ILS, which is good.
17, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land, world travel 293.
Cleared to land, beautiful.
Flight attendants, please be seated for landing.
Seated for
Here we go,
landing,
landing
right.
checklist. Gear down.
It is.
Flaps set to full.
Yep.
Speed brakes armed. Auto
Yep.
brakes set to 3.
Which
Landing
we're now
checklist
going to do.
complete.
Which you can't do in the 3D panel, so I need to switch to this one, number 3. Right, so we're taking over manually, as you can see now. So but we've still got the heading on, or the VOR switch on, as well as the speed. So it's just altitude we're now controlling manually. Well, I'm controlling manually. But good news is that we're perfectly in line. But obviously that's the VOR doing that for us. So I switch that off now. And the speed. Any second now. There you go. So now coming in. Still in line, which is good.
Don't sink.
And then throttle to idle. Slight flare. Touchdown. Beautiful. Speed brakes up. Reverse thrusts to full.
World travel
Braking is automatic.
taxiway, contact ground on 122.17.
World travel 293.
293. There we go. Speed brake off. Oh, auto brake off even. Speed brake down in a second. There we go. And let's exit this runway. And head over to the ambulance. Or at least at this point I think it's a gate. And then they tell me it's an ambulance. Just go underneath the tower. Right, here we go. We're off the runway. Well, we'll clear the runway. Flaps
Rotterdam
down to
ground,
0.
World travel 293 off 24. Taxi to the gate.
World Travel 293, taxi to parking on the east side of the terminal at the base of the control tower. An ambulance is standing by.
Base of the control tower.
Taxi to the east side of the terminal. World travel 293. Okay, let's taxi over to the
Yeah,
ambulance.
so at this
on the
point
east
I'm
side of the
wondering where to
terminal
actually
building.
go. Because I can't even see the freaking taxi lines.
After landing checklist. Landing lights off.
I don't think I ever turned them on.
Engine start switches off.
No, I didn't.
Flaps up.
But we do need our taxi lights on, which is
Auto brake off.
a little important. Just see where you're going.
After landing checklist complete.
Auto brake's already off, mate. I always turn it off on the runway because it otherwise will bring your aircraft to a full stop, and that's not really what you want. You want to keep rolling. Right, so this is the bit where I got a little bit confused because I was wondering where am I meant to go, because this taxi line here, well, this taxiway finishes just there. And I was wondering if this guy was in my parking space or something, because it is AI after all. It wasn't originally designed to be in the mission. And I was wondering whether to go over to that other taxi line, whether I was meant to be there. But either way, of course, we just had to go over the end to this ambulance because it wasn't detecting us. In fact, it didn't detect us until we were almost inside the ambulance, which was nice. Come on, let's keep going. Here we go, just crossing over. Don't mind us, everyone. Remember to leave the hit the like button if you like this video, by the way, guys. Do not forget. But here we go. We're gonna get closer and closer. Come on, detect, detect, detect. Still not having it. There we go. Beautiful. Success. Mission success. So, there you go, guys. bit of an interesting flight there. Let me know if you guys have done this flight. Leave it in the comments, or any suggestions for some other missions that you'd like to see. I've got Scheme Edition, so I've got all the missions that are default. And like I say, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And next stream on the 1st of April. Videos every Saturday. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.